Yo, how's it going, everyone? Aidan here, and probably thinking, Aidan, what was that intro about? Simply put, I got a new microphone now. People who follow me on Twitter would have known this, right? So yeah, guys, if you're not following me on Twitter, name's up on screen now. Also, drop it in the comments. But basically, I tweeted out that I got my hands on my new microphone. Now, funny story, I actually ordered this microphone a couple of days ago, and I paid for next day shipping, so I paid like an extra £5. And when the delivery came to my door, I was fast asleep and I didn't wake up. Apparently he probably smacked my door and I just slept all the way through it. So he had to come back today. Basically I I wasted £5, but because I slept through it. So so I hope the mic sounds good. I will play around with these settings more later because there's obviously a lot you can do. And you know, well, yeah, that pretty much sums that up. So let's move on to the video at hand, which is going to be me recommending some weapons for you guys via the collection book. So as you, oh, I've just slapped the mic. I'm going to have to get used to that. I've got like a pop filter popping out my desk. The mic is about as long as my arm, like my forearm. It's huge. So if you hear any me smacking it or something, headbutt the mic, then, you know, just be wary. So let's move on to the collection book, as I was saying. So there are now options to obviously purchase weapons from the store for a accumulation of legendary flux and weapon designs. Now, I'm just going to be going over the weapons in here that I recommend you pick up, because if you don't have the event weapons, you've missed out on them. These are the next best thing, in my opinion, but I feel like quite a few of these weapons are highly appreciated amongst the community because they are some of the better ones. So we're going to start off with assault rifles, and of course I'm going to head over to the siege breaker. So obviously this weapon is, everyone knows it, the gold scar. You're going to pay 60 weapon designs and 100 legendary flux. It's the same for every single weapon, so I won't have to repeat myself. But the copper siege breaker. So I used to have the copper siege breaker. I'm just going to call it the siege breaker. I used to have the siege breaker, but you know, I got it up to like level 106. I used it for a long time. It was a great weapon, but obviously I upgraded. I got event weapons, okay? So this is one of the assault rifles I highly recommend. Now, along with that, maybe you don't like that. So my second recommendation would be the Deathstalker. Now, this gun has an ACOG, so if you don't like the ACOG sight, you won't want this weapon. It's a bit like the Tiger in that sort of function. So this weapon is a burst weapon as well, and it actually deals extreme damage. Now, with the current schematic XP rewards for the 4-player missions, I want to do a level 130 gameplay review with this weapon. So by the way, guys, with the new overall schematic XP rewards going on, if you are aware or if you're not aware, 4-player missions are giving 4 times the XP. Now, if you remember a while ago, I made a video talking about some missions giving so much XP, double, triple, with a very, very rare quadruple. Epic have just thrown quadruple missions in the mix everywhere, for every single zone. Basically, it helps with the grind. It makes the grind easier. So you guys are lucky. If you're low level, you didn't have to witness or, you know, endure what we had to. But yeah, back to the actual script of this video, which is, those are the two assault. Did I even finish what I was talking about? Which was, there's so much schematic XP now, I can basically do level 130 reviews on any weapon I want, i.e. the tiny instrument of death, and more of the meme weapons, just for your enjoyment, because it doesn't take me 4 months to save up the experience. Now back to the video. So those are the two assault rifles that I recommend you get. Some people do recommend the Hunter Killer, but it is a semi-burst weapon. I'm not sure if there's an automatic like sort of mode on it. I don't think there is, from what I've heard, but you know, people play it with modder controllers and they say it's a fantastic weapon because of it. But I would personally go for the Deathstalker or the Siege Breaker. Saying that though, the Razor Blade is good. You might prefer it. It is another burst rifle. It doesn't have an ACOG scope, so if you like a burst rifle but you don't want the Deathstalker, you can get the copper Razor Blade. But I have heard myths of a Lynx FAMAS coming into Save the World soon. You know, the FAMAS from Battle Royale, that will be hitting the Battle Royale store sometime soon. So that is it for the assault rifles. Let's make our way onto the shotguns. Now, for the shotguns, I only have one recommendation, and you can probably already see which one. That would be the Room Sweeper. So the Room Sweeper, I covered this in my Million Schematic XP. You guys actually chose this weapon, so I imagine a lot of you have it, or you wanted to see how good it was. And now that you have the choice after seeing that it was a great weapon, you can go and pick it up yourselves. So like I said, 60 and 100. So the flux is the only problem at the moment. I mean, 100 flux for a weapon, you're looking at 2 weeks of saving up the legendary flux from the store. What I'm thinking is Epic are obviously going to implement new ways to obtain flux, whether it be from mission alerts, but my personal favourite, or what I reckon they are going to do, is add it to llamas. That's right, because llamas have become a little bit obsolete since this update, since we can get any schematic that we want, and with the perk Recombobulator we can also change the perks on it. I mean, we've got so much customization now, which is absolutely incredible. So yes, the Room Sweeper for the shotgun is definitely worth picking up. On to pistols. Now, when I talk about pistols, I'm always referring to it being used on a Ranger Deadeye or Bug Beetle Jess, whatever is running the pistol damage. Now, from the store, I'm going to recommend the Thrasher. So the Thrasher, you don't see too many people running around with this, but when I had my hands on one, it was an amazing weapon. Honestly, it was, it had an extremely quick reload, it done a high damage, it was a really useful, nifty weapon, and it slayed a lot when I was using it on my Ranger Deadeye. I have the schematic. I could probably do a full review on this too at some point, but for now I'm just going to tell you guys that it's worth getting. The Monsoon, I'm not going to recommend you get it, though it actually was, it was really good in my video that I done on it. It's probably not worth spending the flux on it. I mean, 2 weeks worth of flux on the Monsoon, I don't think it equates. But then we move on to the Dragon's Breath. The Dragon's Breath, another gun I want to do a video on. So this weapon is known for, it's a 2-shot weapon. Uses shotgun rounds, but it absolutely destroys. It has some of the biggest hits in the game, and I can't wait to try it out. I mean, this is known for 2-hitting smashes when it's under leveled. That's how big of a bad boy this thing is. I think I said that correctly. But yeah, the Dragon's Breath, if you can get your hands on this weapon, you're looking pretty dandy, and you're going to be taking out the big boy husks and smashers fairly quickly. Where am I going? Pistols. I haven't even fully learned to use this. Oh, and what is this? Is this the Bald Eagle? Yeah, the Bald Eagle. Unfortunately, that is an event weapon, so I can't recommend. I recommend it, but obviously not in this video. Sniper rifles. Now, obviously, we are going to be using the Zapatron. Hey, pull your leg. I'm only joking. We're not going to be using the bloody Zapatron. What sort of maniac would level that up? Probably me, some point soon. So moving on, the actual sniper I recommend you use, the Super Shredder. So I'm sure you've had your hands on one of these. If you trade, you've probably been given one. It's one of the most known weapons in the game. I would put it close to the Gravedigger. If someone says, hey, you got a Gravedigger, they probably have a Super Shredder. They will give you that. You'd be like, oh, okay, fair enough. Super Shredder, awesome. Super Shredder is a fantastic sniper shotgun hybrid. Great range. I mean, it is a fantastic weapon. Fast reload. I did make a video on it actually a while ago. The Mr. Monster Slayer, one of my old videos. I mean, you can go back and watch that. I'll link that at the end of this video actually, because it's one of my earlier ones. It's a bit funny actually. But I have it fully maxed out and I use it for shooting the blasters. Does insane damage. Very worth it. It's a great weapon in general. Definitely worth getting your hands on. Now, explosive weapons. So I want to move on to this. I want to talk some serious stuff. Let's get serious. Let's get serious. So when I upgrade my weapons, I use crystals, always a sunbeam. The only time I go bright core on a weapon is by accident. So why would I do that? Now, sunbeam obviously gives higher damage per second, but it has a slower fire rate than what obsidian gives, and also less durability. But the damage output is more, which is what I want. Now the thing is, because I make all my weapons out of Sunbeam or Shadow Shard, that means that I can spam these explosive weapons because I don't have to worry about my bright core or my obsidian, because I only use it for explosive weapons. So I'm going to recommend you get your hands on a bazooka. Now these weapons are fantastic. I mean, they're always very handy. They're also fun to use. So when the Horde Bash comes out, or Challenge the Horde I should say, I reckon this weapon is going to be very handy for them. You know, level 20, I mean them early stages on. I mean, you definitely want something that's packing some AoE damage, and also you've got lots of materials to craft. So definitely worth having a bazooka on your side. I mean, hey, who's going to challenge someone with a bazooka? I don't know, probably a husk. But moving on to the melee weapons. Now, we're going to go past them because I don't recommend any. I mean, I do have one. Now, some people might say, Aidan, they've had a buff. I know they've had a buff, but they still aren't that good. In my opinion, at least. I haven't given them a full try. I don't have any 130s. I haven't really tried any of them yet. But to my knowledge and what I've heard, I don't think they're worth it. I mean, guns are going to be the better used anyway. But there is one thing I have seen get used quite a lot, and it actually has come out on top of damage, and that is the Reaper Scythe used with a Harvester Sarah. Now, funnily enough, I see this being run with a lot of end game players. I'm talking people who are like level 120 like plus. These guys are running around with Harvester Sarah and the Copper Reaper Scythe, and they are absolutely destroying everything in their path. Absolutely no remorse. They are literally the Grim Reaper. They've got their scythe, they're going around picking up that body count and absolutely destroying the damage like score. So this weapon is pretty good. I've used it in the past. I haven't used it with a Harvester Sarah yet, but from everything I've been told and everything I've seen, it's definitely the only weapon I would recommend if you're going to get up close and personal and still looking to deal some heavy damage. Now, I know some people would argue, you know, Aidan, what about the hardware weapons? Yeah, there are constructors that obviously get boosted from this, but I mean, are you really going to be mincing around in your base that whole time where it's worth, you know, getting all this extra damage off with it? If you're saying yes, then go for it. Hell yeah. I mean, go for the Rocket Sledge. That's one of the good ones. Or the Heavy Hammer. They're probably the two I would go for. Not this little crowbar or wrench. No. But yeah, Rocket Sledge or Hammer if you actually mince around in your base as a constructor with the boosts. So guys, those are the weapons. I will just quickly recap what I went over. So for the assault rifles, I recommended the Siegebreaker and the Deathstalker. Oh my goodness, I keep clicking off things. The shotguns, I recommend the Room Sweeper. I've done it again. Aidan, stop this. Pistol, I recommend the Thrasher and the Dragon's Breath. And then for the sniper, I recommend the Super Shredder. So just a couple of weapons there, obviously not too much. Oh, sorry, and the bazooka, the RPG. Now, obviously you can choose the grenade launcher. It depends on preference, what you prefer. But I think the bazooka is a better, you know, one to choose there anyway. But as I said, there's only a few weapons because they cost 100 flux each. And I mean, flux is pretty hard to get at the moment, so you know, don't worry too much if you don't have much flux. The only way to get it is from the store. I'll show you now. Obviously, I have brought mine out. There we go. Legendary flux. Oh, I think it's 10, so 50 per week. Correct. Just telling myself I'm correct. Yes, Aidan, you are correct. But yeah, you get 50 per week, and this is the only way to get them at the moment. I'm pretty sure that is the only way. I mean, there is some on this side, as you can see. Where is it? There you go. You can buy 100. It's a one-time purchase, though. I'm hoping that it resets soon. But yeah, that's probably the only way you can get it. And my mouth is extremely dry for some reason. So guys, I mean, I hope this helped. Those are just several of the weapons that I recommend, and they're the ones you can pick up anytime you like if you have the flux and the training manuals. So guys, be sure to leave a like if it did help. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and hit the notifications bell next to the subscribe button if you haven't hit that already, to be notified with my daily videos. And also be sure to check my Twitter down below and follow that, because I will be doing a massive giveaway at 1,000 followers. Apart from that, guys, be sure to take care, take it easy, rest your weary little heads, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.